As gender expression and identity became increasingly nuanced, the term pansexual emerged, a sexuality inclusive of all genders. The term pansexual was first used by Sigmund Freud. He used the term to describe the sexual instinct that inspires all kinds of human behavior. However, this definition no longer accurately describes what being pansexual is. The modern use of the term pansexual likely gained traction in the 90s, around the time activism surrounding genderqueer and non-binary expressions surfaced. Pansexual is now defined by Merriam-Webster as of, relating to, or characterized by sexual desire or attraction that is not limited to people of a particular gender identity or sexual orientation. More and more people are becoming accepting of pansexuals. Bella Thorne, for example, is out as pansexual.
Oh, I realized recently I'm actually a pansexual, and I didn't know that. Yep.
Okay.
And somebody explained to me really thoroughly what that is.
Explain that to me, because
I am pan. You like beings. You like what you like. Doesn't have to be a girl or a guy or, you know, he, she, a they, or this or that.
One of the most prominent examples of a pansexual character in television would be Ambrose Smelman from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. In the show, we see Ambrose participating in relationships with both men and women, so without the context of us knowing that he's pansexual, it would be safe to say that he's either pansexual or bisexual. The Greek root pan means all, and bi means two, of course. Both of these definitions of bisexuality are pretty inaccurate, especially for the time period we're in now, so I'm going to go further into explaining the difference between pansexuality and bisexuality, and we'll come back to a better definition of bisexuality. So if we look back at Ambrose, for example, we don't see him in relationships with anybody other than men and women. However, he still is pansexual because that is what he labels himself as. This definition explains the materialization of the term pansexual because some people think that the term bisexual reinforces the gender binary, whereas the very existence of the term pansexual is in opposition to the gender binary because it is accepting of all genders. However, not all bisexuals feel that this definition is accurate. For example, bisexual activist Robin Oakes' definition of her own sexuality is, I call myself bisexual because I acknowledge that I have in myself the potential to be attracted romantically and or sexually to people of more than one sex and or gender, not necessarily at the same time, not necessarily in the same way, and not necessarily to the same degree. Bisexual is even sometimes seen as an umbrella term of which sexual orientations such as pan, queer, and bi reside under. A solid distinction between the two that I found from Medium reads as follows. As pansexuality means attraction regardless of gender, pansexual people usually feel equally attracted to any gender, and their experience of attraction doesn't vary no matter what the gender the person they are interested in is. For some bisexual people, gender is also irrelevant to their attraction. Other bisexual people are, for example, only attracted to their same gender and non-binary people, or more attracted to one gender than another, or look for different things in their relationships with people of different genders. Some people might not even identify with any of these distinctions, and realistically, each person has the choice to identify what sexuality fits best for them.
I personally like to use the label bi because I'm attracted to any gender, but I feel as though gender does play a role in that attraction and how that attraction manifests. However, that's a personal definition of the word bi, and there could be a pansexual person who experiences attraction in the same way as me, who decides that the label pansexual is a better fit. Some other reasons someone might choose the label bi is if they are sexually attracted to some genders but not all, as we've already discussed, or if they like the fact that bisexual has like a more established and older community attached to it. Someone might choose the label pansexual because they like that it's a newer label without all the baggage of the label bisexual, and that it has a more current and often younger community attached to it. They might also prefer the term pansexual because it's a more inclusive term, or because it allows them to reject the gender binary. But one misconception that I do want to make absolutely clear is that both bisexual and pansexual people can and are attracted to transgender people.
That was YouTuber Amelia Ace describing her version of bisexuality in relation to pansexuality. Pansexuality emerged out of the desire to be more inclusive. However, bisexuality quickly adapted into something similar. There is nothing wrong with either sexuality, and one should just go with whatever label feels best, or decide not to use any labels.